berating her mother for having passed on only her worst features: freckles, pale skin, red hair, knobbly knees, and a total ineptitude in physics and chemistry. Pointing out that genetic inheritance was pure chance, not a conscious decision, Paula was about to stroke her daughter's hair, but Lenny pulled away and dashed out, slamming the door behind her. She came back soon after and threw herself into Paula's arms, as if stocking up for the next stage of detachment. It's still raining. Paula squeezes some oranges and froths milk for her coffee. A vase of tulips is on the table. 1 year ago, the length of the day that lay ahead would have sent her into a panic. She would have started cleaning or doing the washing, gone for a jog or to see a film, or called Judith and gone with her to see the horse. What she did wasn't important. All that mattered was that she did something. Otherwise, the demons would have surfaced to haunt her. After she separated from Ludger, she often wondered what had marked the beginning of the end. When had things gotten out of control? Johanna's death had been a watershed. But as time passed, Paula began to attribute the failure of their relationship to other earlier events, going further and further back until there was no more back. It all began with a party. When the organic shop in Sydvorstadt celebrated its opening, Paula and Judith were passing by chance. They'd been at the lake, sunbathing in the nude, rubbing sun lotion into each other, eating ice cream and attracting plenty of looks. Satisfied with themselves and the impression they'd made, they'd cycled past the wildlife park, through the floodplain forest, and back into town where it was still hot and sticky. From a distance, they'd noticed the balloons, the planters full of flowers, and the crowd of people outside the shop. Eager for a cold drink, they'd stopped. Ludger was standing near the door when they entered. Paula noticed him right away. Later, he said that he'd caught sight of her out of the corner of his eye, too, and his gaze had followed her. Paula was wearing a moss-coloured strapless dress and a sun hat, from beneath which her red locks flowed. Outside, the sun was scorching. The odour of exhaust fumes and lime blossom hung in the streets, and every breath of wind blew the sticky sweet concoction into the shop. Ludger was wearing a linen shirt. His hair was blonde, his eyes blue. He wasn't the conqueror type. The two of them left the party shortly afterward, chatting as they wheeled their bikes along the street. Ludger kept looking at her, but he did not hold her gaze. When he spoke at any length, he stopped. Like Paula, he tried to stay in the shade. By the riverbank, he casually stroked her arm. On a park bench in the evening light, she kissed him. In the first few weeks, they saw each other every day. Their meetings would begin by an oak tree in Clara Park. Paula, who arrived everywhere too early, saw him turn onto the path on his racing bike and waved at him immediately. Every encounter began with slight embarrassment, though this dissipated after the first kiss. From the tree, they wandered through the parks and the neighbouring parts of town. Paula loved the way he cocked his head to one side and beamed whenever he saw her. She also liked his deep voice and soft way of speaking. His boundless energy was infectious, and she was impressed by his knowledge of sustainable building and self-sufficiency, as well as of flora and fauna. Ludger often came to see her in the bookshop. Sometimes she glimpsed his head first as he rode the escalator up to the fiction section. Sometimes he surprised her in the middle of sorting books or placing orders. He would discreetly caress her hand or arm, and she would turn to him, feeling a secret thrill that her female colleagues could see how handsome he was. Their nights together were spent at his place. Only once did he sleep at her apartment, which at the time she was sharing with Judith. The three of them had spent the evening together over pizza and red wine. Time and again, Ludger managed to bring the conversation back to his area of expertise, the environmental footprint that each person left and how to keep it as small as possible. He kept interrupting Judith to enlarge upon a topic or correct an inaccurate statement. Noticing her friend's jiggling foot and the tense expression on her face, Paula got the message. The next day, Judith came into her room carrying a pile of medical books. She explained to Paula that she needed some peace in the apartment so close to her family.